The big reveal came today for the theme of the 49th Annual March for Life. It's Equality Begins in the Womb. At the group's briefing earlier today, Ryan Bomberger, a leader in the pro-life movement, spoke about his own adoption into a family of 9 other adopted kids.
10 of us were adopted, 10 of us who were wrongly considered on many levels less equal than others. Most of us were unplanned. Most of us have either physical or learning disabilities, but none of us were unwanted.
And joining us now is Jeannie Mancini, president of the March for Life Education and Defense Fund. Jeannie, thank you for being here on Faith Nation today. I know your group aims to restore a culture of life. Jeannie, how does the theme of next year's march tie into your mission?
Well, every year we try to discern, what are the most pressing issues in terms of building a culture of life. And so past themes have involved things like pro-life is pro-science or adoption, a noble decision. So we really try to think about it and come up with what is most needed in the present time. And our thought going into this year is that equality and, for some, equity has been part of the public conversation to some certain rigorous degree over these past couple of years, whether it's racial injustices, whether it's even COVID, precautions and what have you. And so we wanted to take that very interesting and robust conversation, but insert into it a topic that often is not included, which is the equality of the unborn child. We did this and we decided on the theme long before we knew that the Supreme Court would be taking up the Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health, the Mississippi case that will be heard oral arguments on December 1st. So it works out, I think, providentially and very nicely that this is what we're talking about.
Jeannie, on to the other case. A new survey from a pair of Texas universities shows 55% of Texans actually support the heartbeat law that bans abortion after 6 weeks. That's the baseline, Jeannie, for independence. When you do the breakdown according to the demographics, there's strong approval by Latinos, 58%, men, 59%, to women, 52%. Among Republicans, 74% approval. Jeannie, these numbers, if true, seem to refute the idea, one, that the law is unpopular, certainly not in Texas, and two, the issue will help motivate Democrats in the midterms. Do these figures match what you're hearing and seeing?
They do. So listen, what we're talking about here is that abortion, well, we're working for that day when abortion is unthinkable. That's really what we're talking about here. But when you consider what's before us, especially going back to the Supreme Court case for a minute, and then I'll back my way into the Texas law, we're talking about returning abortion to the states. In other words, letting the states make such decisions. So it doesn't surprise me in the least that the Texas heartbeat law, not SB 8, which, by the way, most media outlets are reporting it because they don't want to use the word heartbeat, not you all, thank you, it is popular with Texans. Of course it is. So anyways, as we're looking at this, I absolutely hope and pray that this is the year where abortion decisions go back to the states.
Jeannie, we only have about a half minute left. Can you tell me about the mood within the pro-life movement, given that you have this Texas law and the Dobbs v. Jackson case coming up in December?
I think both in tandem are rallying the grassroots. I can't remember ever seeing such enthusiasm or even personally having such optimism about where things could go legally at the end of this year. The Dobbs case in particular is just perfect in terms of a clean case going before the court. And then the Texas heartbeat law just shows us so much about the humanity of the unborn child. Have we ever heard people talking about that heartbeat so much at such an early stage?
Jeannie Mancini with the March for Life Education and Defense Fund. Jeannie, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.